Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to make these really super easy but beautiful Father's Day cupcakes, and I'm also going to be weaving in some business tips as well. I've learned a lot of things over the years about making stock orders, specifically for big events like Mother's Day and Father's Day. My first tip is that you really don't want to overcomplicate things, so that's why I'm using a classic 1M star tip today, because this tip can actually do quite a few different things. So as you saw there, I started off with a simple rosette, and now I'm creating kind of like a seashell border on the edge here. If you saw my video where I made over 1,000 cupcakes at the commercial bakery that my friend owns, then you saw there that we also used a 1M star tip as well for the whole design. This is really going to save you time. This is another great way to utilize this tip. You just hold it in place, squeeze, and when you're done, you just lift off. Now I'm going to create the cupcake here that I'm going to be utilizing for the plaque. And this just really needs a good solid base underneath. My next tip for you is to limit the amount of colors that you're going to be using. I would stick to about 2 or 3 colors. This will make it a lot easier for when you need to replenish colors. The worst thing is when you're working with different colors and you don't make enough of one or the other. So this way you can really streamline things. Now you might be wondering, why did I just add some of that yellow food coloring in there? The reason is it was a little bit too purple for me and I wanted it to be more of a gray blue. I should also mention that I am using an American buttercream today. I did end up using a French tip for this portion, but honestly, you could just stick with the 1M if that's what you would rather do. The trick to designs like this is just making sure that you fill in most of the gaps. I also find the best way to market this is taking photos where all of the cupcakes are all lined up together and they all have similar looks. It's really important to have sample photos so that people know what it is that they're going to be ordering from you. And it's really important that what they do receive from you is very similar to the photo that you put up in the first place. Your main goal with cupcake boxes like these is you want to make sure that it's worth it for you and that it's worth it for the customer. So in order to make it worth it for you, you need to make sure that you come up with a design that looks impressive for the customer, but that's easy enough for you to do in bulk and something that you're not going to mind doing over and over again. Now you can offer a variety of flavors, but I honestly find that things like this sell well regardless of their flavor. And when you stick with something that's easy, like a vanilla cupcake with a chocolate base, you really can't go wrong. You could offer vanilla cupcakes as well with vanilla buttercream. That would do really well too. But often people are searching for something neutral and something that is a crowd pleaser. Now, these plaques are one thing that you can make well ahead of time. The cupcakes you would have to make in bulk, but you do want to keep those as fresh as possible. These will keep for a long time. This particular fondant cutter was sent to me by Fly Seahorse. I will put their link down in the description box below, and I believe they are having a sale on all Father's Day fondant cutters. Using something like this is also a big draw for customers. It's something that's just a little bit extra special, and it's not like they're going to go out and purchase a little small bit of fondant and a cutter to create this. So it's just that little something to make your box look special. Now, I will say, I did paint this because you guys know me, love adding gold to everything, but if you're going to add something like this to your box, think about how much additional time this is going to add to your orders. Even something so simple like this is going to add on approximately 5 minutes to every single order, which means that you're going to have to up the price for that. So try to think up ideas to add a little bit of pizzazz without driving up your time commitment. If you need to drive up the cost a little bit of ingredients, I personally find that better than driving up the cost of time. Now, like I mentioned, these should be made ahead of time because you do want that plaque fairly solid before you put it on the cupcakes. But if your planning got away from you a little bit, then add a little Tylose powder to that fondant so it dries a little bit more quickly. And there you have it, some really super simple but beautiful cupcakes that are so presentable for the average customer. Now let's talk about pre-orders. Now whether you run a bakery storefront or if you're working out of your home-based bakery, pre-orders are probably the way to go with this, especially if you're going to do things like specialized packaging. If you are going to use specialized packaging, you're going to need to order enough packaging. And quite frankly, the packaging amounts is probably going to help dictate how many orders you're actually going to take on. For example, if it only comes in boxes of 50, maybe you're going to limit yourself to 50 orders. When you're thinking about packaging and how you're going to stylize everything, keep all of your time costs in mind. Putting on this ribbon alone was an extra 3 minutes. So do you have 3 minutes extra per box? Or would you rather just have a beautiful window box with maybe your company's sticker on it? Now let's get into the pricing for this particular box that I created. So I personally would charge $20 per box. Here is my reasoning for that. Now that does come out to $5 a cupcake, which is a little bit on the higher end, especially considering that piping those cupcakes was really not that difficult. But let's talk about the fact that we had to get that specialized fondant cutter. All of the boxes are a little bit more expensive, and even just that small amount of ribbon takes both time and money. My final tip for you is just to make sure that you have an appropriate cutoff time for your pre-orders, because you want to make sure that you actually have enough time to complete everything. And as always, make sure that everything is paid prior to pickup, because especially with events like these, you're going to have pickups happening all day long. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading weekly, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys.